Listen up, Chicago. The Windy City is buzzing right now because the Midway Monsters are looking to make a move that will shake the entire NFC North to its core. We are talking about a defensive transformation that could turn this unit into a complete wrecking crew for the upcoming season. You do not want to miss a single second of this update because things are moving fast at Halas Hall. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and turn on those notifications so you never miss any breaking news about our beloved Chicago Bears. Let's go! Cameron Jordan is the name on everyone's lips right now, as reports suggest the Chicago Bears are the prime landing spot for the legendary Saints pass rusher. This is absolutely massive news coming from Bleacher Report's Gary Davenport, who believes Ryan Poles is ready to pull the trigger on this veteran force. Jordan has spent 15 long years down in the Bayou with New Orleans, but the vibes have shifted, and he is officially looking for a new path where the sense actually makes sense. He recently dropped some heavy words saying that just because he loves the city doesn't mean the organization has to love him back, and that has opened the door wide for a move to Chicago. After notching a huge playoff victory last year, the Bears are now seen as real contenders, and Jordan wants a piece of that Super Bowl action before he hangs up the cleats. He flipped the script last season by posting 10.5 sacks, showing the world he still has that elite pop in his pass rush despite his age. The league is absolutely stunned by the possibility of this veteran joining our young, hungry defense, but there is a major reason why this specific timing makes this move the most dangerous threat in the entire division. Can you imagine the terror in the eyes of Green Bay or Detroit when they see this monster lining up in the navy and orange? The fit seems too perfect to ignore, especially with our current situation on the edge, which has been the most disappointing part of this whole offseason so far. We only had 35 sacks as a team last year, which is nowhere near enough to survive in this division, especially with the Vikings adding Kyler Murray to their offense. The clock is ticking, and the draft is right around the corner, but signing a veteran like this would change the entire strategy for Ryan Poles and the front office. But why is this veteran so desperate to leave his legacy behind in New Orleans just to come to the 312 right now? There is something much deeper happening with our defensive line rotation that will make your jaw drop when you hear who he is going to be hunting with on every single down. Montez Sweat is the absolute engine of this Chicago defense right now, and he desperately needs a running mate who can handle the heat on the opposite side of the line. Since arriving in the Windy City, he has been a total game changer, but the lack of a consistent threat across from him has allowed teams to double-team him constantly. Last season, the lack of production from the other edge spots was a glaring hole that almost cost us everything. We saw the uncertainty surrounding Dayo Odeyingbo, and it became clear that relying on unproven talent wasn't going to get us to the promised land. The history of this franchise is built on legendary defensive lines, and right now the front office knows they are one piece away from recreating that 85 vibe. Think back to when we had multiple threats that quarterbacks feared every time they dropped back to pass. That is exactly what we are missing, and why the presence of a veteran leader is so crucial for the development of our younger guys. The reality is that the NFC North is getting faster and stronger, and if we don't fix this pass rush immediately, we are going to be left in the dust by the Lions and the Packers. General Manager Ryan Poles has been aggressive in rebuilding this roster, but the edge position has been his toughest puzzle to solve so far. Bringing in a guy who understands the nuances of the game would take so much pressure off the secondary and allow our linebackers to play more freely. It is all about creating that synergy where everyone can thrive. The chemistry between a veteran pass rusher and a dominant force like the current star would be something we haven't seen in Soldier Field for a very long time. This isn't just about adding a name to the roster, it is about fixing a fundamental weakness that has held this team back from true greatness. The front office is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, and the plan involves a level of veteran savvy that only a few players in the league possess. But the real question is how the money will work, because our cap situation is looking a little shaky lately. The numbers tell a story that every Bears fan needs to understand, because the difference between a 35-sack season and a 50-sack season is the difference between a wild card exit and a Super Bowl run. Last year was a struggle in the trenches, but the statistics show that a veteran addition would provide an immediate 10% boost in pressure rate, according to the latest analytics. We are looking at a scenario where the Bears could sign this veteran to a high-value one-year deal, which is the ultimate low-risk, high-reward move for Ryan Poles. This wouldn't stop us from using a high draft pick on a young edge rusher later this month, but it would provide the perfect bridge for the 2026 season. Imagine a rotation where you have fresh legs coming in every series, keeping the offensive tackles guessing and exhausted by the fourth quarter. The cap space is tight, but the experts believe Poles can structure this deal with void years or a heavy signing bonus to keep the immediate hit under $10 million. Scenario 1 is the dream, where this veteran signs tomorrow and immediately begins mentoring our young draft picks while providing double-digit sacks. Scenario 2 is a bit more conservative, where he plays a situational role on third downs, specifically to hunt the quarterback in high-pressure moments. Either way, the impact on the win column would be undeniable, because our defense ranked near the bottom of the league in sack percentage last year. We need that injection of pop, and we need it right now before the division rivals pull too far ahead in their own rebuilds. The data proves that teams with two premier edge rushers have a much higher probability of winning playoff games, and that is exactly where Chicago is heading. If the money makes sense, then this path is wide open for a historic partnership that would solidify our defense as a top 5 unit in the entire NFL. We have seen what happens when we don't have that pressure, and it isn't pretty for our defensive backs, who are forced to cover for way too long. The stats don't lie, and the trend shows that veteran pass rushers often find a second wind when they join a contender with a dominant interior presence and a star on the other side. This move would be the final stone in the gauntlet for the Chicago defense as we prepare for a brutal schedule next year. Look, let me keep it real with you guys, because this is the kind of dynasty building move that separates the winners from the losers. In my expert opinion, as an insider who knows this city through and through, bringing in this level of veteran talent is a no-brainer for Ryan Poles. We aren't just talking about any player here. We are talking about a future Hall of Famer who still has plenty of juice left in the tank. I love the idea of a one-year deal because it keeps our flexibility for the future while giving us an elite window to win right now. The leadership in that locker room would go through the roof, and you can't put a price tag on that kind of experience when you are trying to win a championship in a tough city like Chicago. We have the talent on offense, finally, and now it is time to make sure our defense is just as terrifying as it was in the glory days. This move would send a message to the rest of the league that the Bears are done rebuilding and are officially in the business of winning Super Bowls. It is time to get aggressive and stop playing it safe with the edge position, because the window is open today. I am all in on this veteran signing, and I think every fan in the 312 should be screaming for it from the rooftops, because this is the missing piece of the puzzle. Chicago, this is the moment we have all been waiting for, and the potential of seeing this veteran legend in a Bears jersey is enough to give any real fan goosebumps. We are on the verge of something truly special at Soldier Field, and I want to hear exactly what you think about this potential blockbuster move. Do you think he is the final piece we need to dominate the NFC North? Or should we focus entirely on the draft for our pass rush needs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I read every single one of them and I want to see the passion of the Bears family. If you love this team as much as I do, then show some love by smashing that like button and sharing this video with every Bears fan you know. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because we are going to be covering every single move Ryan Poles makes during this explosive offseason. We are building something legendary here in the Windy City, and I am so glad you guys are along for the ride. Bear down forever, and I will see you all in the next breaking news update.